Welcome back to the channel. If you read the title of this video, you're probably expecting that I'm going to tell you about the time that I was attacked by a group of muggers and fended them off with my ninja-like judo skills. Well, no, it's not. But I honestly believe that the stuff I learned 55 years ago when I practiced judo for about 9 months, I believe one of those skills has actually saved my life, at least saved me from very serious injury. And it's something anyone should consider. Now, for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 4 years ago, I think it was. And Parkinson's in itself is a life-changing condition. Some very unusual things happen, some strange things, not such good things. One of the things that I experience a lot is I fall over. This is because sometimes your legs just stop working. You know, you just, whoop, and if you're moving forward at the time your legs stop working, well, you just fall over. And you can hurt yourself. I'm nearly 70 years old, and one of the reasons that I have been working very hard to improve the amount of muscle that I carry is because bone density is almost directly related to muscle mass. So the more muscle you've got, the tougher your bones tend to be. So I work very hard to try and keep a reasonable amount of muscle on my frame, so my frame is also strong. So if I do fall over, I'm not going to break my hip like a lot of 70-year-olds do. You see a lot of old people get frail. They get very frail if they fall over, break a hip, and the studies seem to indicate that if you break a hip, you're far more likely to die in the few years that follow than if you don't break a hip. So I want to live for as long as possible. In fact, I intend to live forever or die trying. So I wanted to make sure that I was in the best possible condition to withstand the things that Parkinson's throws at me. So I work out not a lot. In fact, if people are interested, I'll give you some videos on my workout schedule. And if you're around my age, you'd be surprised what you can do. But let's get back to this judo thing. What was it that 55 years ago prepared me for the life I'm living now? Well, when you go to judo, the first thing they teach you is a thing called a break fall. Break fall is very, very important because no matter how good you are at judo, people are going to throw you on the ground because there's always someone better than you, or you slip up. Everyone's going to get thrown on the ground. And if you can't land safely when you've been hurled through the air, you're going to hurt yourself. And the whole idea of judo is not to hurt yourself. So they teach you a break fall. I spent countless hours practicing break falls. And what a break fall does is it teaches you how to land with the least risk of injuring yourself. And normally when people fall over, they put their hands out like this, for example, and that's the worst thing you can do. You want to be able to convert your falling motion into a rolling motion and then use your hands, your arm, outstretched arm, to absorb a lot of the impact. That's basically how break fall works. If you want to know more, go and take up some judo. So yeah, 55 years ago, I learned this skill, and it's one of those things that I did it so much practice of break falls that it becomes built into your brain, burnt into your brain. It becomes a reaction, you don't have to think about it. When you fall, although it was 55 years ago, instantly that skill, that training comes straight back, and on a number of occasions, I think it has really saved my life or prevented me from life-changing injuries. Good example, I was walking down some steps. We lived in a house that had some quite steep steps. They were narrow and they were quite deep, so there was quite a big gap between one step and the other, and they were uneven. There wasn't an equal spacing. I don't know who made the steps. They needed to be shot. But I was walking down the steps and I tripped. Basically, my foot dragged and I fell forward. Now, it would have been a 2-meter drop onto the concrete below, 2 meters, like that. If I'd put my arms out, I would have certainly broken my arms and my head would probably have hit the ground. I could have suffered fatal head injury, fractured my skull, who knows what. But I couldn't believe it. It was amazing to me that as I fell forward, I could feel myself kicking with my feet. And I landed, outstretched my arm, landed on my arm, rolled across my shoulder onto the flat of my back, and the other arm came down to absorb a lot of the impact. I didn't hurt myself. Well, I bruised myself and cut myself a bit, but I was no broken bones, no major structural damage. It was amazing. I just, that break fall, all the stuff I learned those years ago just kicked in straight away. Didn't have to think about it, didn't stop for a moment, and it really did possibly save my life. I was amazed by that. And subsequently, I've fallen a number of times. I've been crossing the road and my legs have stopped walking and I would have gone splat onto my face, but I still had the ability to twist my body, outstretch my arm, convert that fall into a rolling motion, and the energy is not spent trying to break you, but you roll with it. And it just, I'm so glad. Of course, the benefit of working and getting the muscle I've got on my shoulders and my arms is that when I do land on these parts, it's not bone on concrete or bone on road surface, it's muscle, and it absorbs a lot of the impact. So I haven't apart from a few bruises, I haven't broken a bone. I'm so glad that I did all this hard work those years ago to learn this skill. And I would say to anybody approaching my age, whether you've got Parkinson's or not, consider this sort of stuff. Certainly, even when you're young, you're going to get old. If you're lucky, you'll get old when you're young. So consider now just taking 6 months of judo or some other martial arts where you're going to be taught to fall without hurting yourself. It is a fantastic skill. You could become a stuntman and do it that way, but just a martial arts skill like that where you learn to fall in a way that you're not going to, or you minimize the risk of hurting yourself. It is such a fantastic skill to have in older life. So that's it. That's just a little video today, just life experiences. This channel is designed for stuff that doesn't fit my other channels. It's just to have a bit of a chat to you from time to time, to tell you some of the things that I've done in my life and the experiences I've had, hopefully to give you a bit more insight into how you can improve your life if you want to do so. As I say, if anyone's interested in the exercise regime that I do, it's really not that hard. I probably spend no more than 20 minutes a week working out, and the benefits are enormous. I'm pretty sure now that if I hadn't done this, I would have become frail and I would be very much at risk of hurting myself if and when I fell, despite being able to do the break fall maneuvers. The fact that if I didn't have the bone density and I didn't have the muscle mass to absorb impacts, I would certainly be in the frail category, and I'm going to get frail. As you get older, you get a thing called sarcopenia, which is your muscles atrophy. Your muscles don't last forever. So as you get older, your muscles get weaker. You've got to work at maintaining strength, and in my case, building strength. When I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I was still a weak, wussy, skinny person. And I just put in the effort, and now I'm stronger and fitter than I've ever been in my entire life at the age of 69. That's good stuff. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. It's not, you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to buy fancy foods and lots of stuff. It's just a mental attitude, and just set aside just a few minutes twice a week. That's all you got to do. 10 minutes twice a week's all you need to change your life forever. So I'm not an evangelist. I'm not going to try and convert people. This is not a fitness channel. I'm not flogging products. It's just I want to share what I've discovered through my own experiences with you. If you're interested in that stuff, then let me know, and maybe you want to subscribe to this channel. Go down there. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and consider looking at learning. If you're in your 20s, or you're at school, or in your 20s, 30s, 40s, consider taking judo lessons even just for 6 months. Learn that break fall maneuver. It could save your life. There you go. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.